All right. Dr. Cal and David Blacker, how are you? How
It's
are
very
you?
nice
Great
to be here and to meet Cameron for the first time. Hi.
Yes. Hello.
It's so funny. People that I've known through Gays with Kids for many, many years, got to just finally meeting each other. It's great. So you've both actually been a very important part of Gays with Kids. You've both been very engaged and involved. David, I think since basically day one, I think probably the first month we launched 9 years ago, I reached out to you
Yeah,
and
you
asked you to
did.
write for
I
us.
remember that day vividly. I was so excited to be able to reach this particular population. Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Well, I appreciate coming on board early on. So what I'd like to do is you guys this is the first time we're doing this. So because with the launch of our new gay dad directory, every week or so we're going to be meeting some of the dads who are in our directory. And you two are the very first we're going to be meeting. I'm excited to introduce you both. So Cameron, why don't we start with you? Do you want to tell us what you do, first of all? How long you've been doing this?
Yeah,
and then
awesome.
I have some follow-up.
Hello, I'm so excited to be on here. I found Gays with Kids about 4 years ago when I was beginning my journey of coming out, and it has been a ride, especially as I've transitioned into just being a gay business owner. I was so afraid to come out of the closet when I owned my own business and how that might affect things, but it's been going great. So I am a chiropractor. I run my own practice here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called the Horizon Chiropractic Center, and I have been here doing this for about 7 years this May, and time has flown by. And so I'm what's called an upper cervical chiropractor. When people think of chiropractors, they think of the typical snap, crackle, pop, come in, let's fold you up like a pretzel and pop your hips and your backs and all that stuff. And I actually don't do any of that stuff most of the time. And so I got into this line of work when my daughter was a baby, and she had really bad epilepsy. And she would have all these seizure episodes. And we were getting her adjusted from the time she was a baby, and she never had colic. She never got ear infections. She was always a great sleeper, but she would have these episodes. And one of my mentors said, hey, take her to an upper cervical chiropractor. And what that means is we focus on the very top two bones of the spine at the very top of your neck, the atlas and the axis, because of their unique relationship with the brainstem. And so we took her to a doctor. We were living in Texas at the time, and he adjusted her atlas bone in a way that I had never seen or heard of before. And it had such a profound influence on her seizures immediately that I decided to stop doing all the regular chiropractic stuff I was doing and decided to pursue this. And so in my office, I focus on people with epilepsy, people with vertigo, fibromyalgia, and migraines. Those are great candidates for upper cervical chiropractic work. And it's been a pretty fantastic journey to help people in that regard. And so it's a lot more than just temporary pain relief. Let's move some joints and increase some range of motion. I don't necessarily always think that's beneficial, but if there is dysfunction happening at the very top of your spine around the brainstem, it's going to affect everything else going on. And so we focus on that here in the office, taking really precise x-rays of those top two bones, doing a couple nervous system tests to check for nerve interference, and go from there. So it's a whole lot of fun.
I did not realize you had a specialty. I'm going to send my husband to you. He's been getting married for 30 years.
Yeah, those
no
are pesky little punks. So happy to help.
Can you share something? Well, I was going to ask you that most folks might not know about chiropractors or chiropractic work, but I think you sort of already did. Anything else that you find that people are surprised about when it comes to getting treated by a chiropractor?
Something I've learned is that people kind of lump all chiropractors into a certain category. There's unfortunately a stereotype out there about the whole profession. Who knows really where it came from? It's debatable. But when they come into my office, most of the patients who come in, they've been referred by other people, other professionals, and they're shocked to find out, like, oh, you do things a little differently. And it's really cool because it does offer them another source of hope for their health. And there's nothing more frustrating when you've got a health condition where you go get all these tests done and see all these specialists and nothing works. And they come here and it's like, hey, we take these tests and the results are not normal. It's like, oh, you have what I expected to find, so now we can fix it. And it's really great when we do. So
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being part of the Game
Yeah.
Factory. Thanks for being here. Back to your question. All right, David, my friend, you're up next. So you have a very interesting story about your career. Do you want to help folks what you do and
Sure.
how you be doing this?
I previously worked in advertising for like 20 years as a writer and a creative director. And along that time, my son was born in 2010. And around that time, I started to resent work for keeping me away from my family, from my son. Just so many client trips and shooting different campaigns that I was missing, like, important milestones. And, I got to the point where I realized we only have one shot at really showing up and being present with our children. And so I decided a few years back to shift and explore a different profession. And I went back to graduate school and I became a clinical psychotherapist. And so now I see individuals and couples and families who are looking for therapy. And I tend to focus in on people that are starting families, two dads who are starting families, all people really, and going through a lot of the challenges that we can all experience, whether that be the foster care system, surrogacy, open and closed adoptions. So I work with a lot of families in that space. I also work with a lot of younger individuals who are maybe on a journey with their gender or their sexuality, and really kind of giving them an affirmative space to be seen and heard and valued. And beyond that, as a person who changed their career in their 40s, I tend to also work with folks who are in transition, maybe later in life transitions, whether that be starting new professions or going through divorces or getting married, having children. Yeah, it's been quite a journey for the last few years. I love the work. It's sort of a privilege to be able to spend my day sitting across from people, sharing their stories with me, and so
We lost your volume, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Did it come back?
There we go.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm going to share, David, as I said at the top of this conversation, you started writing a regular blog post once a month, and we've been going on for 9 years now for us. And most of the time, you're talking about your life as a dad, and you're helping to share wisdoms that you've learned. And really, for the last 9 years, there's no surprise to me that you're now a psychotherapist, because as far as I'm concerned, you've been helping folks through your writings of kids for 9 years now, really giving us great advice. You know what I think of your writing, and I'm always inspired and touched by it. So you clearly picked
Thank you.
A great
I appreciate you saying that. I've loved my experience with Gays with Kids, and I have these stories to tell, and I have them to tell because I needed to read them. I needed to read them from other people and to kind of create that community. So this has been a great outlet for me to do that. And I think my interest or my focus on working with two dad families in the therapy sense, a lot of that came from, you know, this community and all the people that I've met through Gays with Kids. So it's a love that goes both ways for sure.
Thank you. And Cameron, you've also done some writing for us. You shared your journey coming out with us. So you want to talk about what
Yeah,
that was
it
like
was
for
really
you?
great to just realize I was not alone in my experiences. And when um, David Dodge asked me to just kind of chronicle what I was experiencing as it was happening, it was an honor to just share, and a big learning experience. So definitely grateful to discover that there are other gays with kids out there, and people with similar stories, and all the different types of stories out there. So it's been a treat.
Well, appreciate your writing as well. That you certainly help other people who are going through that, realize that they were all alone. Well, guys, I promised you I wouldn't keep you more than 15 minutes. You've probably sort of talked about this already, but what would you say you find absolutely the most rewarding about your career now, or about serving the communities that?
Good question. I'll go first. I think when someone comes in and after a visit or two they get the results that they want. I mean, that doesn't always happen, but when it does, and just the relief and the excitement on their face and the shock of like, I have been to so many people and all it took was a simple adjustment of my bone up here and now I'm feeling this way. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? And that's always exciting. So I would definitely say that when people feel better, it's just rewarding. So
Yeah. I mean, very similar to what he just said. To just be witness to people who are vulnerable and show up and are being their authentic selves, and to be present for that and to be part of that journey, part of that work, to be there when they say, I had this breakthrough, or I realized that I don't need to do that anymore. And these folks are so bravely kind of showing up and to have their goals reached, and in some ways have new goals reached that they didn't even know that they were intending, you know, to work towards. It's it didn't feel like this when I would win a new business pitch in advertising. It was fine, but you know, I learned over time that awards or titles and stuff, when you get to a certain age and you really start to appreciate family and what that means, your priorities change. And so in doing this work, you know, I'm not just selling something. I'm really, you know, creating a space for people to learn more about themselves, and to be there on that journey is really rewarding. And I want to model that for my son, finding something that we're passionate about and working really hard to get there.
mm-hmm.
I right there with you in terms of finding something they're passionate about. Not everyone gets to say that they're doing something they're passionate about. That's exactly how I feel as well. Well, I want to thank you guys again so much. It was great to see you both too. Until the next time, be well. Wish your family well for me. Thank you so much for joining. For those who are watching and want to know, if they want to be able to talk to Cameron, you can find Gay Dad Business Directory. The link will be at, or you can go to our website and click on the business directory button in the navigation bar. If you're a business owner, or you have a line of business, or you're in sales or business development, and you cater to consumers in the LGBT, whether you're already targeting the LGBT community or you realize that you would love to start doing so now, we hope you consider joining the Gay Dad Business Directory. We're going to be doing all kinds of really cool ways to promote the folks who are participating. It's really important to us, but we do what we can to help everybody and to support the community. We have enough other people outside who are trying to knock us down all the time. So this is just another endeavor of ours in which we're trying to help support it. So we'd like to help you guys too by that business director. All right. So thank you, everybody. It was great to be here. We appreciate everyone watching. And again,
gentlemen.
Cameron and Dave, great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.